Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another movie review, everybody. And I finally watched the Black Phone movie, everybody. That is right. Woo! The freaking new Ethan Hawke kind of horror. It's kind of a horror movie, I guess, but it's more of a, kind of a kidnapping serial freak type movie like that and stuff. So, but it does have a little bit of horror elements into it. So let's dive right into this, everybody. We're going to be talking about Black Phone, everybody. This is directed by Scott Derrickson. And man, I was impressed with the way that this guy shot and filmed and everything about this movie. I love the cinematography and the way that they did things in this. Because we are in the 70s, everyone. I can't remember when exactly this takes place in the 70s. I can't remember what year. I think it's like 75 or something like that. So the person that is kidnapping kids, because that's what this is. It's a movie about a guy played by Ethan Hawke called The Grabber, who is kidnapping children when they're walking home from school, walking to and from school. And he has this van, your stereotypical creepy black van. And he has black balloons that he always leaves as a calling card that he took another child. And he uses the balloons to take them. But the thing that I love that the director did in this movie is that the way he shot this until our main kid character, Finney, played by Mason Thames, I think is how you say his last name, until he gets kidnapped, all we ever see the three kids that get kidnapped that they show is you see the black van coming, and then you see Ethan Hawke's character, the grabber, back in the distance, and it's all blurry and shit. And you can see that he's going to walk up to the kid that's going to get kidnapped by him, the grabber, and it just kind of fades to black. Like, it just fades out. I love that shit. The way that's shot and everything. It's the buildup and everything, because they show Finney and his sister, Gwen, who's played by Madeline McGraw or whatever I think is her name. His sister is the highlight of this movie by far. She is spunky and just spitfire, man. The shit she says in this movie to the cops and the teacher and principal and shit at the school, and kids that are beating her brother up. She's a tough ass little girl, man. But they show her and him walking to and from school all the time, and they're just building that tension up, because you know Finney's gonna get kidnapped, because if you watch the trailer, you know it's gonna happen. So I love the way that the director chose to film this throughout the movie until he gets kidnapped. We briefly get to see the grabber off in the distance walking towards the kids that are being kidnapped before him. And then they show the missing signs and all over the town and just everything. I love the build-up to it. Like, we don't get to it right away. Like, we don't even really get to see Ethan Hawke, like, really see him until we're a good 30 minutes into this movie almost. Like, we finally, when he comes and approaches Finney and drops his bag of groceries, and that was in the trailer also. They showed that. And when you see him use the balloons and he sprays the shit in his mouth so he can't really yell anymore and everything, and throws them in the back of the van, that was the first time you get to actually see him do the kidnapping. They don't show it with the other kids before it. It's just the build-up. I love it. I love it. And Ethan Hawke, this performance, man, wow. He did a fantastic job, because he had to act behind a mask a lot in this movie, and I thought he did a fantastic job emoting who this grabber character is through a mask. Like, he is creepy, and you can tell he's vile, and he does horrible things to children. Like, you can tell. And also another thing that I love about this movie is that it is very tastefully done. They don't show the brutality and the grossness and the sickness of him doing these things to these children. They don't show it. Now, when we see the kids with the black phone part, because down where Finney is being kept and where the other kids were kept, this black phone that is not hooked up and never rings. We get kind of this supernatural element added into this story where the phone rings, Finney answers it, and it's each one of the kids that keep calling him that have died and been murdered by the grabber. And they're helping him. They're telling him, well, I was doing this. I was digging over here. There's this wire along the wall. If you bust through the concrete wall here, there's the freezer. Like, everything that they're telling him to do ends up helping him and paying off to help him get out of this basement and eventually kill the grabber. Like, he kills him eventually, like when they finally have their big face off. And there are these scenes where the grabber leaves the door unlocked, and in any scenarios that you're dealing with the psychopath that's murdering little kids that has them locked up, they do that for a reason. And they like tell him on the phone. The phone rings the first time when he's gonna go up there, and they're like, don't. The one kid's like, do not go up the stairs. He's waiting for you, and he will hurt you. Like, he has a belt, and you will not enjoy what he's gonna do to you. He likes playing this game called Naughty Boy and shit. So, like, you can tell that Ethan Hawke's character is sick and vile. And those scenes where he's sitting in that chair in the kitchen waiting for him to come up, and he's got his legs spread, he's got that mask on, he's just rolling his head around, and you can just... That's what I mean. This movie's very tastefully done, and they don't have to go into that grossness of these type of serial killer movies and show. You know, by the way the movie was filmed and directed and the story and the characters were written, you know that he's sick and demented and he kills kids. And then when we see the ghost of the kids that have been killed, you kind of see what he did to them, and you just know they don't have to show it. And that's what I mean. It was very tastefully done and well done. And I just love the build up to him getting kidnapped, and then the build up to him getting out, and these phone calls that he's getting from all the kids that have died and everything. It's just, it leaves you on the edge of your seat pretty much the whole time you're watching the movie. And then the payoff at the end with the little sister having dreams about the grabber standing in front of the house with the kids and everything, and then she helps the cops kind of figure out where her brother might be, and it's kind of it gets you at the very end of the movie, because the house she's seeing is actually not the house that her brother is in and where he's locked down in the basement. It's the house where he buried the bodies of the kids, but across the street is where Finney was kept. So it's just like he used these two houses and everything to do all this shit, and I love it. This movie was great. I thought it was fantastic. I thought they did a great job with it. The acting was awesome. And just the suspense and the tastefulness of how they portrayed the grabber and how sick and demented he was, and he was killing kids. And all I have to say is I know this movie takes place in the 70s, but damn, if I had 2 kids and 3 and 4 and 5 kids were starting to go up missing within weeks of each other, like within a month, I would not let my kids walk to school. I'm just saying, I know it was in the 70s and shit was safer back then. Not like today, but I would not let my kids walk to school. I'd be like, I'm driving your guys' asses to school, because there's somebody obviously taking kids around our neighborhood. Like, you're not walking to school. So, but yeah. So anyway, Black Phone, I'm giving this guy a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great, great horror, supernatural, like, not slasher, but just sick, demented serial killer type movie, and just thriller. It was well done. Very good movie. I thought they did a fantastic job with it, everyone. So a 9 out of 10 for Black Phone, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you on the tube later, because I have spoken.